Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Monday night here at Proficiency Bonus. My name is Matthew. I used to have all sorts of nice names to refer to myself, but given what happened last time, we'll just leave it with I'm Matthew. Before we jump into what happened last time, though, I want to give a couple quick shout-outs to our friends and sponsors. Thanks to Streamlabs, OBS, and Twitch. We use their products and services to do what we enjoy. And more importantly, shout-outs to our friends Little Dragon Corp up in Canada and Cardboard Castle Games down in Evans, Georgia. You can put exclamation point Little Dragon and exclamation point CCG into our Twitch chat. Give you links to their website. Our discount code for Little Dragon is still down, but our good friend Michael has finally remembered to email them to get it corrected for us. So that should be getting fixed up for us any day now. In the meantime, though, you can check out their Twitter account. You can check out their Facebook page. They're wonderful. They're always running different promos and specials, so check them out. Sometimes you can even find one that's better than the discount that you get through us. And with that, we're going to jump right in. We're not going to pull any punches this week, as our party is in a rough situation right now. They have managed to stop a strange ritual that seemed to be summoning a multicolored five-headed dragon. During said ritual, they did happen to see a massive blue dragon with a rider come through the portal that was on the ground in front of them. They have won the day, but at heavy cost, as both Murdoch and Snowmoon lay dead on the ground. Snowmoon being reached immediately, 2 copper coins placed in his eyes, the spell Gentle Repose cast, his body preserved, held in suspended animation, awaiting an attempt to bring him back. Murdoch, unfortunately, due to waning reserves of arcane oomph, was unable to be preserved as quickly. And it took 10 minutes for Artemis to complete the ritual casting. Again, preserving Murdoch's state, but also making it a little more difficult to bring Murdoch back. And we will start this evening with the 4 of you currently sitting in this small clearing, as the mist slowly creeps ever closer, that slight swirling like water down the drain, pulling into where the portal once was. You have your strange white-robed newcomer that is currently being, I suppose we'll say, interrogated by Sarah and some other conversation. We have Lydia, who is currently attempting to take a little bit of a breather, see if she can see what she can try to come up with, and we have Artemis, who has just completed their ritual. What would the 4 of you be doing?
I would like to check up on Artemis.
And I think I would try to see what this person can do for Snowmoon and Murdoch.
Yeah, I would be doing that too.
They seem to be able to, they seem to know what they were talking about in that area.
But he doesn't have magic, so I don't understand.
Okay, so we'll go ahead. We'll start with Sarah and Artemis then.
I'm going to put a hand on Art's shoulder. So the ritual is complete, right? Like, Art just set up.
Oh no, Art. At this point, it's been about 10 minutes, so that gave you a little bit of time to chat with him, and it gave Art time to complete the ritual. So for those who have rolled hit dice, you haven't completed your full short rest yet.
Okay.
You're still sort of like mid short rest for specifically for Lydia. I think she's really the only one who just sort of
Yeah, I did. Sorry.
locked down and dealing with things. Well, it's
Yeah.
how Lydia's dealing with it at the moment.
How's it going with the candles?
Can you help me do something?
Of course. What is it?
Okay. They're taking off like a few of the scarves that they have.
Oh, okay.
Can you start ripping these up kind of lengthwise, make them long? I need to make sure that these coins don't fall off of their faces.
Okay.
It needs to happen. Thank you. I will go put these around Snowmoon. If you can deal with Murdoch, that would be great. Thank you.
Like, dear, hi. Oh, okay. Bye. I guess I'll start tearing with my dagger, and not really gonna look at Murdoch, who has been vivisected in front of us.
And Art would be running off to kind of tear scarves, wrap around the Snowmoon's face as well as they can. It's a bit more angular, but yes.
Okay, I'll start tying.
I believe you're
Matt,
muted,
you're
Matthew.
muted. You're muted, DM.
Yeah, welcome to Monday nights, folks. Yeah, it doesn't take you much to do it. It's again, you both have. It's a little odd for the two of you and again, probably the wrong term, but given their sort of, I'm gonna say like almost snouted.
Muzzle.
Yeah, I don't like muzzle. It makes it sound like I'm calling them dogs. But it's sort of that, now they have that slightly elongated jawed nose. It gives you a little bit of hesitation as you tie it, so you tie probably a little tighter than you necessarily would if it had been a halfling or gnome, just to make sure that that it's not going to go anywhere as you start moving.
Even better.
Yeah, it takes a few moments as you two are starting to do that. We'll switch over to Furia and Lydia, who are currently having a conversation with this white-robed individual. And see, after that initial sort of a few moments with Sarah, you can see the individuals trying to like straighten their robes out a little bit. You can see hanging around their neck is a beautiful, what looks to be almost like a platinum-esque metal medallion. Emblazoned in the middle of it is a bright blue infinity symbol. It seems to almost be glowing. Just start come back and they tie their hair back, and you would both now notice as they're starting to look a little bit more presentable. There is a very sort of slight point to their ear.
I sort of wait for them to, feel comfortable after their stint on the ground. And while they're doing that, I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
Oh, it's. You can tell that he still seems to be a little. As in, like, he's still looking around, almost like waiting for the other shoe to drop. As expecting something, and. Go ahead, actually, you and Lydia can go ahead and make perception checks real quick.
$24.
19.
Oh, okay. So you would both notice this as he's sort of looking around a little bit. As he's getting his hair tied back and looking, you can see he is looking very oddly at Sarah and Art as they are moving around and basically putting the coins in the eye and basically bandaging the eyes of your two friends. After a couple of months, he seems to sort of shake it off a little bit. I am Ryfun.
Good to meet you. I know what these are strange circumstances to see of all of us strangers here.
It is rather
Amphibia.
odd that. What did you do with those two that their bodies remain?
You'll have to talk to Wizard.
Yeah, cast a spell on them. First of all, do you need heal? And second of all, what are you gonna do to bring back our friend?
Hold on, Lydia.
What?
Just go slow here.
Prerogative.
That's true. But do you have any magic that can bring back dead people?
Or do you know someone that we could pay?
I'm sure if we bring them to the temple, they should be able to. It's
Wonderful.
I can't see through this fog, but it shouldn't be too hard to get back there. But why would you bring them back? I mean,
Why not?
the gods are going to want to know how you preserved the bodies. Usually,
It's not-
that one it points over at Murdoch. Usually it just crumples.
Oh,
Dissolves.
come over here for a second. Let me show you something. And I walk closer to both Murdoch and Snowman.
Walks over, and you can see he has a slight limp, but doesn't. Seems to be moving okay, but yeah, follows over with you.
Look at that one, and I point to Snowman. They have a tail. No, they don't have a tail. Sorry, I get confused. And that one over there is a little confusing, but they technically don't have a tail either. Not a dragon tail.
Do I have a tail? Okay, sorry.
As he's looking over, and again, once Art has completed, bandaging the eyes, sort of, probably not as gently as any of you would prefer, sort of like half rolls Snowmoon's hip. What is this creature? It doesn't look like the others. Well, it looks like the others, but not.
They're called Dragonborn.
So they are not draconian.
That's right. They're a lot nicer than draconians too.
Yes, if we can get back to my temple, the High Priestess should be able to bring your friends back, but given the appearance, the gods will probably require their presence, as well. It's the armies are not unknown for slaughtering people within cities.
Well, you can let them know also that everybody here prevented a dragon with 5 heads from coming through a portal.
At that, you watch the color drain from the face a little bit. Yes, what happened? What? And he starts looking around for the magic.
I point at the big black mirror thing with the 5 skulls on it.
Yes, that came from the tower, but where did the... And starts looking, trying to find the body of the magic user. Did you deal with the black-robed?
And everybody here, we killed. I think one hopped on the back of the dragon that did go through the portal. That was a blue dragon. We weren't able to stop them, but everybody else died.
Blue dragon, you say?
Yeah, they had a rider. From where I'm from, people don't usually ride dragons. It's kind of confusing.
And where are you from?
Not here. Where are we again? I know I asked you this before, but...
I'm not quite sure. I was in the tower. I suppose...
Where is the tower? Is it in a city? Is it...
Yes, it is located in the city of Palanthus.
Okay, I don't recognize that name. Lydia, do you recognize that name?
Not so.
Okay, where is the city located? Do you have a province or a state or a country? Or...
We walk and talk at the same time with the bodies. I don't want them to not preserve well.
Do you have anything to put them on? How do you plan on transporting them?
Maybe we should take a rest first, even just an hour.
Alright, I'll rest, and then we will move the bodies.
I can turn into a large animal that could help
and I can
if we do that as
one,
well.
probably 2.
Okay, if that... See what happens with this mist in the meantime. And go start and sit down, and you can see it. Once he sits down, crosses his legs, and just sort of places his hand, and is holding on to that medallion hanging around his neck. And you can see sort of a very soft blue glow almost seems to be emanating from within his clasped hand over the medallion. And with that, we're going to pan over for a couple of moments. And start with Murdoch. As we find Murdoch currently sitting in a small room with a very... to be honest, this guy pretty much looks like a librarian. Very sort of muted grayish robes, sitting down with a document that he has just provided to Murdoch. Here is the offer we are presenting to you, Murdoch. I hope you are understanding the opportunity that is being presented to you.
Yes, Oh, I think I understand all too well. Pactum diabolicus. Little bit on the nose, don't you think?
Well, it is. I personally find it works best to just be honest with people, with what you're looking for. And specifically with one such as yourself.
Yes, one
Well,
such as myself.
Seeing your passing as an opportunity, but I couldn't help but step in and put a fork in your road, so to speak. But again, the opportunity is such a small price to pay.
She takes up the document, and stands from the chair, if she can. Takes it over to the window. Kind of like is continuing to read over it. You said the window was like frosted over. If I get a closer look, can I see where the hell I am?
As you're looking out, it's... Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Seven.
So it is still it is still extremely difficult to see through it. As you're, like stand up and you're trying to sort of peek out it, after probably about 15-20 seconds, you notice all of a sudden that the toad sitting at the desk just sort of gives a wave of the hand. And you see the frosting of the glass just fades. And you are, as you're looking out there, you are correct in your thoughts, given the contract you are looking at, that you find yourself within one of the layers of the Nine Hells. As you're there, it's sort of just that his gesture, and you start to see that there is off in the distance a single, rather ornate, very angular tower off in the distance that you can see. He says, saw you trying to sneak a peek. You are currently in... And the dungeon master... Phlegeth. The
Phlegeth?
fourth layer. Yes. Practice it twice today, and sure enough, come stream, can't say it. You're currently on the fourth layer. We are a roadmap. This is where... Well, the Devil's Court, shall we say. I thought it fitting for our meeting, given your line of work.
Yes, there are plenty of jokes about where lawyers are supposed to go.
Well, you are not due to arrive here. As I said, we have placed a fork in your path.
Mm-hmm.
To offer an opportunity.
So you have interjected on behalf of who really has claim over me? Or...
Consider us a trolley stop on your road to them. Regardless of what happens here, well, I shouldn't phrase it 100%. If you decide you like our options, we just kick you back the other direction and you never complete your journey. Until such time as you complete your journey. Should you not like our option, then you depart, and we wish you the best of luck on the remainder of your path.
That's very kind of you. Totiv. Well, if we are going to speak business, I want to know, is this form just to be something a little bit more agreeable? Is this what you really look like, Totev?
He looks and this is how I've looked for at least the last few thousand years. Looked this way so long, I don't really remember if I looked another way before.
Oh, there you go. You know, just an old pasty man. I think that's fitting. She will sit back down in her chair and she will look over the document. She'll go, I'll be quite honest with you, Totev. This is a good first draft of a contract. Good in the sense that it passes as legal jargon. I do have some notes and a couple of questions for you about what I am reading here, if I may. You know, do my job.
Oh, but of course.
Well then, let us just get right to it. Section 2, the offer and terms. Via the provided object, 1,000 souls/beings from other planes of existence shall be banished or sent to you. Hereinafter referred to as the offering. I would want an explanation of this object before I signed anything, of course. I would like to know how it functions, what it looks like, and also possibly a specification regarding the use of these souls and whether or not there is a particular definition you're working with here on the sense of planes, other planes of existence in regards to you, or other planes of existence in regards to me, because we're from very different places.
So you could see a grin slowly starts to come across the face. First thing he does is reaches into a pocket and pulls out a small, looks to be brass bracelet. It's a very simple object. And give me a second, I didn't realize it was getting dark in here. Very simple object. It does not even require exclusivity. It can be used thrice per day and has the capability of one such as yourself. I'm sure you're familiar with the banishment spell. This
I do, yes.
This has the ability to cast banishment. Unlike the normal arcane version of the spell, though, when it's banished, they immediately arrive in the cells here. There is no necessity to withhold concentration on it. If you're able to banish
literally,
them, it's
just literally send them to hell.
correct.
All right.
It also has the ability, should you end up ending the person, it has the ability to remove the soul from somebody who has passed within the last 6 seconds. Likewise, and return them immediately here.
All right. Thank you for that explanation. I will continue with my notes. This one is very, very quick and simple. In the same section, where is it? Yes. Upon the successful exchange of the offering by the beneficiary to the grantor mayest provide the agreed upon service. That is complete pageantry. The grantor will.
That is
No may.
that is correct. Yes, this is the service that we would be agreeing to.
Of course. But, you know, pageantry has no good standing in a legal document. So, just a note. The juxtaposition of my mother with her spouse. This would need to be specified that this is juxtaposed, as in the one that you, I suspect, have control over will go to a much more better and appropriate place of rest, rather than bring my other mother down here and call that juxtaposing them together.
Yes, we would be reuniting your mothers together. Not here.
Very good. Is this Totif? Are you the one that holds my mother's chains, or your superior? Or is it just that you are the person, the messenger, so to speak? I'm curious. Do you actually have the power to release her, or do you need to go to someone a little bit higher up?
I serve as the scribe of Duke Berith, Master of Accounts. As this contract is enacted through me on his behalf. As such, everything within is, upon signature, pure as platinum. There's no negotiation with other beings required.
All right. We're almost through. Let's see. I see that there is no clause pertaining to the possible mortal death of the beneficiary again before the offering is able to be provided. If I were to die, and I don't want to die again, the first time was already quite enough, but I am an older woman. Are there some sort of mortal protections for me to ensure that I have enough time to be able to actually gather 1,000 souls, or am I really working on a biological clock?
Shall we say we are not... There is no benefit to us from your early departure from said coil.
All right.
Our goal is for you to remain as long as possible, as should your demise happen. As I've stated, and being honest with you, at least as of now, you have done nothing to warrant being brought to us.
All right.
Should you leave before completion, not only do we not get our deal, but we don't even get you. Does not seem to benefit us at all.
No, certainly not. Speaking of getting me, why don't we go to section 4? I'm sorry for everyone who's not me right now. This is a long document that I had to read.
Sorry, I
In
didn't
section
think this through when I
4,
gave the lawyer a 3-page contract.
in section 4, should the offering be for the beneficiary's soul, then the grantor agrees to allow the beneficiary to live out the rest of their mortal life before collecting the offering unless there is a breach of contract as outlined above. Fine. Is there a specification here as to whether the soul of the beneficiary is equal to the full payment of the offering or simply 1 of 1,000? Is this
so
just to
that
round off the top?
No, so that is, I suppose I'll call it the standard stipulations within our contracts, as the majority of our contracts are for one soul belonging to said individual.
Mm.
In your instance, the stipulations don't necessarily apply, as it is not for your soul.
Mm.
Again, should you renege on your portion of it, you don't get your reward. Well, rather not your reward, but I suppose knowing that you cursed your mother to live the rest of her afterlife in hell.
That is not on me. And I will have you be very careful as to not say something like that again.
George puts his hands up and leans back a little.
Apologies. Apologies. The grantor also agrees to make efforts not to directly cause harm to the beneficiary while they are bound to this contract. Very, very kind of you to add this in, but I did note that the grantor seems to be given widespread and honestly unspecific protections of themselves, as well as persons deemed under their protection, and said protections must not be extended towards basically anyone that you would deem to be on your side, we'll say. I would have it in this contract that said protection should also be extended towards the beneficiary and also to any which she deems under her protection by malice or negligence, as well as perceived direct harm versus that of actions that should lead to harm. Leave my party alone.
Sort of hems and haws. I will agree that no action will take place as a result of me and my direct master and any that fall with under. But should your friends do things to attract the ire of others, we will not step in either.
And should they end up having come to any harm, or anyone that I deem should be under my protection, and I find that it has come from one of your party, I believe we would say that that is a prima facie breach of the contract, in which case, etc., etc., I get what I need, you don't get what you need, all good.
He reaches up and rubs his chin a little bit. I hate lawyers.
Well, I'm very much more than just a lawyer, but you already knew that. I do this for a living. Haha. Finally, in the clauses pertaining to repercussions and petitions for redress, yes, forms in triplicate, paying court fees to go to the court. They must be delivered in person to Belial or one of his officers of the court. If I had some sort of complaint and I would wish to file it with the court, I would not be on the lower planes. So I would have quite a bit of difficulty being able to turn them in person, so I would say that upon agreement of the contract, I should be provided appropriate means of contact and or transportation to the court for which to do so if the need arises. So that if something goes boo, I'm not stuck on the material plane looking for a divining fork, tuning fork, whatever. There's a lot of different kinds of magic mumbo jumbo.
Turns and reaches down and opens a bag. He goes up and takes a small, looks to be a coin. Sets it on in front of you.
So many gifts today.
As you're looking at it, it's a very dark red. This will permit up to 8 individuals to enter this specific level and can be used once per 10 day.
Well, there's just one last thing that I need to know from you for sure, Totiv. I want to go on a little walk. I want to make sure that my mother is here.
Go make a persuasion check.
Move all my crap out of the way.
Where to put my totem sheet?
Oh, poopy. She rolled a 2, which means it's a 20.
Okay.
But that's still
Yeah,
sucky. I
that's-
was hoping for over 20.
Grab, okay.
She rolled a 2, so it's a 20. I love her.
Okay.
Come on, Totev.
So
Come
as you're
on.
looking, and we're actually going to pan for a moment as Totev is thinking and jump over to Snow Moon. As Snow Moon, you are still within this forest. This strange amalgamation of creatures that you have come to know as Malar has just left and gone bounding again from tree limb to tree limb off ahead of you into the distance. You start to hear noises. It sounds like almost like hoofbeats. Four-legged. Something. It sounds like more than one. Starting to charge. And as you're looking off following this strange creature bounding through the trees, you see what looks to be a pack of boar just charging off through the underbrush, about 30, 40 feet in front of you. A few moments later, you can hear the sharp flap of wings as a rather large, well, best way I can describe the size of this thing is think turkey vulture in terms of land comes sort of almost crashing through the tree branches and lands beside you. And just sort of turns and looks at you. New here. You're staying with us? You should stay with us. The hunt is
Yes.
so much fun. What you kill, I can eat what's left.
Yes, I'm new here, and you hunt for fun. That
Of course, why else would you? Test who is the strongest. Strong survive, the weak die. Strong eat.
if it's necessary to hunt, that's one thing, but just to kill for fun, that's not how I learned.
And so it starts looking around a little bit, and a couple little flaps out its wings and hops over a couple of times to get a little closer to you. Yeah. You could change it. Make it in your image. You could kill him. Hunt him. If you are stronger. Replace.
Change the hunt, you mean?
Change everything. There will always be a hunt.
And what is it that you hunt? Is it just animals? Is it what is it?
As you ask that, the bird reaches over and it gives you a very sharp sort of peck on the shoulder. And as this happens, you get a little dizzy almost as you start to see images appearing in front of your eyes. And you see an image of this individual of Malar standing atop a rock in front of just throngs of creatures. And you see a group of a group of wereboars, a group of werewolves, of other lycanthropic creatures. But then you also see these strange, almost like, I guess I'll phrase it like almost an advanced animal. So it's, you see tigers that are sitting there, not the full animal, but you can hear conversations, people talking in common. As you hear this Malar calling out about the hunt and it starting and it being this week-long celebration for this year. And the first day the hunt is out and your vision changes again. And you see hunting small game, squirrel, rabbits, small foxes, things of that nature. Then it moves up and you start seeing them hunting larger creatures, raccoons, badgers, wild pig. Then it moves up again and it's now a little over the halfway point, and you see they're hunting halflings, goblins, humans. Then it gets near the close, and you see that the remaining groups are now hunting each other. And then as your vision starts to pull back and you start to feel the vision fading, you watch as it seems to flash and you see a massive boar slowly shift and turn into a human. And around their neck is hanging a medallion, the same Malar's 5-clawed amulet that you've seen. And there is a sword hanging from their hip. It's a sword you've seen. Back when you ran into a certain lycanthropic individual on a boat. And as your eyes sort of fade back in and you find yourself still sitting in the same spot, that bird is now sort of on the ground in front of you, looking up, staring at you.
That turned barbaric, and you kill one another for sport.
It is the hunt. We'll do it again next year.
And was that one I saw at the end, was that was Malar, the leader you were talking of?
No, you just saw Malar. That...
Yes.
He was the one who won last year's tournament. He was given a wonderful gift.
That medallion that I saw him wearing?
His life. He went back to hunt again.
So if you survive the hunt, all you gain is to participate in the hunt again.
No, he was given his life. The bird sort of looks down, looks back up at you. You are dead. You know, yes?
Yes, it's a bit fuzzy, but I do remember that.
You win. You live.
I'm not sure if it's worth the cost.
If you don't win, you food. We will eat you.
And those are my only options here.
The bird seems to look at you a little confused. What else would be? You are hunter or you are prey? Is the natural way of things.
Well, if I'm here, I might have to learn to accept that.
We shall see. At that, the bird sort of takes one more really close look at you, and then starts to flap and takes off and goes and lands up on one of the branches nearby, probably about 75 feet away from you, but is still sort of looking down in your general direction. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
That's a 4.
Okay, good to know. We're going to fan over for a moment and go back to our group on the prime material. As you guys have been taking a short rest during this time, the mist always slowly circling around, moving closer and closer, funneled back in towards that center point. And Fury, I believe you're the one who was watching it before. You're noticing as it is getting closer to the group of you, the speed at which it's moving around in that same circle is getting quicker and quicker again. Just like before. Is there anything you would be doing as you guys are probably about, 40 minutes into your short rest, and you're realizing that mist is going to be upon you before your short rest is over?
If I'm watching it and I'm thinking something's up, I'll sort of shake the person in white. I think we need to go now. I'm not really liking this mist.
If that's what you want, I don't know where to go, though, through the mist.
Which direction? I took a good look at this place before the mist sort of gathered in again. We entered from over there, but do you know how you got here?
As I said, we were in a tower, so I'm really somewhat at a loss.
You were in a tower, and now you're here. Well, I guess we could just head a direction.
Certainly, which direction?
Well, any direction might be better than staying at the center of this mist. For all we know, we could end up in a different world altogether, or back to where I'm from, and you could be stuck there.
He starts looking around. He's noticing the same thing as you're called attention to it. All 4 of you go ahead and make a perception check for me.
22.
26. I got a nat 20.
Okay. So you got nat 20 at 22. What was your Sarah?
7.
Okay, and Art?
One moment. 19.
Okay. So apparently the only one who is still who isn't really catching things at the moment is Sarah, unfortunately, but given what's happened, not overly surprising. All 3 of you notice as the mist hits that black structure, that black mirror,
Oh.
it vanishes. It's like it's just slowly swirling in as it hits that point. You'd expect to still be able to see it through it as it's just sort of glazing over the front of it. It is completely gone.
Did you see that disappear? Didn't you say that was from this tower?
Hey, looks over. Where is it? What happened to it?
It's gone.
Yes,
What was it?
It's the Conclave built it intended to be used to travel between their towers, but it ended up opening a doorway to another realm, one where the gods reside.
So that dragon with the 5 heads was a god?
Yes,
Oh,
if what you say is true, they were trying to bring through Takesis. She is the queen and the head of her pantheon, opposed by her brother Paladine. But if we are meaning to attempt to get out of this mist before that happens to us, we must decide what to do with your friends.
I can try to put one of them on a bedroll and drag him with us, but that's about it.
yeah, I mean, they're dead. It's not like we're going to injure them further, other than lopping off a limb or 2. I guess we could fashion some, like, cots or sticks with material in between them.
Just something, anything to carry them along with us would, yes. I have the rest of my scarves for things. I think Art would probably. Is there like any sticks, branches, trees around? I'm supposing
the
not.
area that you were in was basically, you guys had been traveling through this sort of like hilly terrain, but this area that you found yourself staying in was dead flat and barren.
Well, I guess it's time for the old 1-2. Artemis, you go on that side of Snow Moon, and
I don't think we'll.
I'm looking at the size of Snow and I'm looking at the size of Art and started measuring it up. Well, I mean, we could take another 20 minutes and I could turn into a bear or an ape and do it that way, but I don't think we have that much time.
No, I don't think we do. I think we. This is so disrespectful.
Snowmoon didn't have a shield, did he?
I don't think so. Snowmoon, do you have a shield?
Wait, I have a shield.
Not that I.
Wait, you have a
often
shield?
Use, but
I wear-
let me see
I
if I
use a
did
shield.
have one.
Sorry.
I mean, we could use the shield.
Yeah,
Have
I
those
did not have
pitons?
one. So.
Okay.
I have
You do have those pitons. We could use them to make kind of like a.
a drag.
a bed, kind of like you know, like
Yep.
those things that they use when you have like a mountain rescue or
I-
thing.
Hammock.
I put it in the I'm dead. But I put it in the chat. Everyone's bedrolls, it says in the description that they double as stretchers.
Oh, there
So
you go.
it
How does
says
that work?
because
Who
it
cares?
is
It says it.
because it's literally just a thin piece of cloth that you can roll out underneath someone.
It's
Yeah, it
D&D,
says
Let's go.
well, it says a bedroll consists of bedding and a blanket thin enough to be rolled up and tied. In an emergency, it can double as a stretcher because adventurers plan their beds to also work as stretchers.
I was picturing like it works as a stretcher, so there's like 2 sticks in it, like a scroll.
Well,
It
I
may
mean,
very well
it could just be that there's holes in the bedroll so that you can put sticks through them and pick
Yeah,
someone
okay.
up. Yeah.
Maybe.
But yes, I'm
You
dead.
know-
But we have bedrolls,
Yeah.
so there you
So
go.
yeah, you have
So-
bedrolls, and if it says that it could double as that, I would assume that that means your bedroll probably has a couple of, I won't
Yeah.
call it sticks, but has something that you can use to carry it with. So
But like tent rods.
something.
Yeah, and
that
I
was
have a
great.
quarterstaff to help along as well.
And you've got
If it-
another.
I
staff
don't.
in
I
the bag of
probably don't
holding.
actually have a bedroll, but I have a quarterstaff.
You gotta read those item descriptions for those mundane items that everyone has.
Mm,
I love reading those things.
says the lawyer. Yes, good. Okay, well, if that's the case, then yes.
You can use my bedroll.
No, that's exactly what I was going to do.
I have a bedroll as well. We all have bedrolls.
Art's going to start respectfully as much as they can, rummaging through Murdoch's stuff and just like setting up the bedroll, kind of gently tucking containing them within. There's gonna be blood. That's unavoidable. It's all
We'll
coagulated
find a
and
cleaner.
goosh, but you know.
I was stabbed right through the heart, and my neck was chewed out.
We're-
2 places
we're
where
good.
there's lots of blood.
You know, a
Yeah, I'll
baking
start
soda's very
helping where I
abrasive.
can to get things moving because we gotta skedaddle.
Yeah,
Whatever
Yeah.
direction we're skedaddling.
Yeah, so easy
Get
enough
turned
to
to
get
our-
everyone set up. Now, how are you carrying them?
dragging.
You in the white robe, be useful and help.
Slide me into my bag of holding.
I could, but I
I
mean,
think he'd fit. Well, Lydia, can you take care of one?
Yes, I'll take Murdoch.
He has a limp. I don't think he can move quite as fast as. Well, I mean,
You need healing.
no, it's just an old wound. It's
It's a
Alright.
flesh wound.
Yeah.
and I guess
I've got the
the-
arthritis in the knee.
well, I'll take one. If Sarah or Art, you want to help me, and then Lydia can
Yes,
manage the other one.
Of course.
Okay, so Furia and Lydia, go ahead and make strength checks for me. If Furia, you're getting help, so you do get advantage on yours.
Somehow. I
Can't
am
even reach.
It's like a trolling motor, just a little bit.
I'm the wheel in the wheelbarrow.
Okay.
19.
Nice.
19 on the die.
And how we do, Lydia?
14 plus 2, so 16.
Okay. Easy enough for you guys to start getting things moving. Okay, as you guys are moving out, who's taking lead?
Well, I would attempt to multitask here and pick a direction and sort of keep straight instead of going in a big circle.
Oh, okay. So, in this sort of clearing, if we look at the clearing with 4 cardinal directions, which way you heading? North, east, southwest?
Considering I have no idea which way is a good way, I'll just head north.
Okay. Perfect.
I don't even know if in this place the sun sets east-west. I'm just doing my best to, pick a tree, head to the tree, pick another tree, head to the tree, in the same direction.
Are there more than one suns?
So, as you start moving forward, and you start getting closer to that wall of mist. Immediately as you enter into it. For those of you behind, Furia is gone. You know she's there because the stretcher that she is pulling behind her is still, up at this angle with, one of your friends slowly meandering out. But as the minute that stretcher passes in, they're gone as well. They just vanish from your sight. Are the rest of you following right behind?
Because I'm helping.
Oh yeah, so yeah, you were helping, so you'd be
Yeah.
right after that right after the stretcher disappears. Then same thing would happen to Art.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm following.
Does anybody say something about this? They can't see me?
Yeah. Feria,
This
are
happened
you
when
okay
we
up
came.
there? We can't see you.
I stop. Alright, I guess we get a rope so we don't lose each other.
That's a good
You
idea.
turn around, you don't see anybody. Well, you see Art in the stretcher.
No.
Can I make a 360 and walk back out?
As you turn around and look, then you realize that there's no fog. As you're starting to turn and look. And as you're looking around, there is a massive mountain range. What you assume to be northwest of you. And still, you heard Lydia.
So I'll just stop moving altogether, and I'll. Okay. Art, do you have rope, or do I need to dig up mine?
No, I think I still have some somewhere.
All right. I'll hold up this end. You tie the rope to the front and throw it out behind us. See if they get it. Because this is really weird in here. There's a mountain range in here. I'll yell backwards.
Did I hear her?
Yeah.
Oh,
It sounds like she's about 15 feet in front of you.
okay.
So if Art ties off the rope and then chucks the other half back. They're just watching the rope. Do they visibly see some of it just bamf?
Nope. It just seems to travel out into... you've got about 25 feet of rope left on it, and just flies out as far as Art could throw it.
You guys see that?
You've got nothing in there.
No.
Well, weird portal stuff. I guess follow my voice?
Alright.
Come on in. The fog is not here.
You recognize where you are.
Do I recognize these mountains?
Go ahead and make a call to nature check.
Seven.
Dang it!
Hey, you've seen one mountain, you've seen them all. These, pretty nice mountains, but you
Didn't really grow
never
up near mountains, I guess.
Alright, what do you say, Sarah?
Well, she can see mountains. That's more than we're seeing.
Fair point. Alright.
I love
Well,
it.
walk in. Yeah.
Okay. As you start walking in, and your friend in the white robes, as you start to walk in, comes up and sort of grabs hold of your arm, Lydia. It starts to walk in. And as you step into the mist, Artemis is a foot in front of you.
Sorry, Art, I almost fell over you.
Well,
You know, that's okay.
this kind of seems like that room back at home. Start moving forward, give other people more room.
Can I make a religion check on the amulet that the guy has, or would I not know it at all, kind of thing? I
Go ahead
just
and make
feel
a,
like by myself.
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and make a religion check.
Okay, 10 plus.
Because you would know that from where you were raised, that the people, the deity you worship, and the people who raised you, you know they're not from round here.
Yeah, 10 plus 3, so only 13. Yeah.
You're not 100% sure.
Okay.
As you had been sort of sitting there during that short rest,
Mm-hmm.
and sort of that warm blue light that was emanating from their hands as they were praying, best you can tell seems like it's a decent deity.
Okay.
You weren't getting any sort of like
Yeah.
malicious vibes from it.
Okay.
But that's really about all you got.
Do you think that Lydia just did a vibe check?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's intended as a relationship. Yes, a relationship check, a religion check. But yeah, definitely unfamiliar with it, but definitely, again, feeling the sort of warm and holies from it.
Okay. Okay. What about you? Does this look like familiar terrain to you? By any chance?
Now, as you say, he starts looking around and goes, if we're lucky, about 2 days travel, and he starts looking at the mountain range and starts looking around a little bit and goes, if we go 2 days travel this way, we should end up at the High Cler's Tower. That's a couple of days further than that, and we're back at Palanthas, that's where I had started from. My temple is there. They should definitely be able to help your friends.
Wonderful.
Well, then we better get going.
4 days travel. Okay. Right.
Maybe we should find a good stop, maybe half an hour from now, just so we can finish up on that rest.
Mm-hmm.
Just let's make sure that we're nowhere near this mist.
I agree.
Okay, so as the group of you start heading up that direction, you're going to head back down as we find Murdoch currently being escorted outside of the room they were in. Are you alive, Murdoch?
Everything was frozen, so I thought we were just having like a dramatic pause. Oh my goodness. Okay. and then everything like blurted out at me at the same time, and I was like, oh my god. Okay. Hi, I'm here. Sorry.
No worries. You gotta love the tech issues.
I was just like, yeah.
You are currently being escorted from the room you're in.
Yes.
And as you're being escorted down, and takes a little bit of time, eventually brings you down into a room. And within the room, as you walk in, you hear this sort of sickening, almost like, it sounds almost like the bleating of a young goat. But in the middle of the room, there is a large, shimmering pool of water. As Toto walks up, walking in, hands in the sleeves, very calmly walking forward, and steps up, and you can see a couple of these small, strange creatures. Look almost like melted, like if you had a wax figure of a person that was just sort of melted into almost a puddle, sort of almost sliding across the floor around this pool. As they're moving around, it's just... And they seem to be avoiding, as the two of you have walked in, there's almost scattering like cockroaches to get away from the two of you.
Oh.
As he steps forward and says, "This is a seeing pool. If you state the name of the individual you would like to view, and the primary, the first name alone is sufficient, so long as they reside in one of the 9 levels. It will show you where you find them." And
This is where Matthew's like, "Come on, Dylan, say what the name of your mother is." Okay.
this is where the devil is going. "I'm not bringing you to talk with this person." Looky, no touch.
How do I know that this isn't just some sort of illusion, then? Your word?
Shall we say a deal with the devil?
Ah. You
Um,
do
in-
have a sense
in
of
order
humor down here.
In order for me to do my job, I need to keep my word and be forthwith and honest in my dealings. There is no benefit to me, especially since if I violate said contract, they don't... There's only so much they can do to you. To one of us, it's worse if we renege.
Yes, the Duke would probably not be very happy with you, would they?
No, and if the Duke is unhappy, then the Archduke gets involved, and we do not want that.
All the way to the tippy top. All right. She kind of like brushes her like pants, for what it's worth, off, and she gets down sort of on her knees and bends down towards the pool, and she will say, "I would like to see my Mother Verkana."
And a few moments goes by. As you say that, as you've leaned down close to it, it's almost as if your words were a stone dropped into the pool. And as you were talking down to it, these slow ripples start to expand out from that point. And you watch as slowly you're looking at what you best assume to be the prime material plane at first. You can see blues and greens and water and ocean. And then the image shimmers again. And you see where she was laying to rest. And then it shimmers again. And you see this almost as if traveling towards it on wings. You can see the entire structure of the 9 hells cascading down. And as you fly closer, and your view sort of dips down towards the bottom, and then starts to climb back up a little bit, and then drops back down. Eventually, you find yourself in a massive city. Blackened metal, stone, and a massive tower within. As your view continues jumping forward, you see the tower. Then within you start entering this long hallway, and a left, a right, another right, a left, and it's turns and twisting. But as you're walking, there's never a T section. It seems to be one long hallway just winding and twisting. When you come to the end, eventually, your vision stops in front of a doorway. And your vision jumps to the grate. And as your eyes look within, you can see your mother sitting in a small, looks to be about maybe 10 by 10 cell. Small, single bed, a chamber pot beside. A couple of books. It's very dark in the room to your vision. You really can't see what's within it. And you can hear behind you heavy footsteps seem to be walking along the hall. And then, as you're sitting there, you can see her. She's sitting there, has the books held, one of the books held within her hand is just sort of very softly rocking a little bit. Doesn't seem to notice that anyone's watching.
Does she look how she looked when she died, or has she sort of like aged here?
She doesn't look like she has aged, but she doesn't look... I guess the best word I can use for it is, say, malnourished. And it's like, she doesn't have any external marks on her, but you would definitely say that she looks weaker.
Like withered, but not decayed.
Yeah, not decayed, but like she seems to be frailer than you remember.
God, and she would look younger than me. She died pretty young, as far as I know. Mother? Mom?
She doesn't seem to react. She's still just sitting there, and again, just very, very sort of, well, as serenely as one could be, just sort of very gently moving.
It's me. It's Mert. It's Marigold. Your little flower. I'm here.
As you say that, as you say, I'm here, you get just barely a slight, like the head lifts and looks a little bit. And then almost like, seems to not believe it and just goes back.
Okay. Fine. Yes. She's here. I don't want to see this anymore.
That Jodo reaches over and surprisingly gently, very lightly lays a hand on your shoulder and just waves his hand above and the image fades.
Cell? Really? She's already in hell. This whole place is a prison.
As he just sort of Her arrangements were not made with me in mind. Her arrangements were with someone far beneath us. Easy enough for us to release upon payment.
All of this, all of these years spent here because of some deal with some 2-bit penny pinching lower devil.
As you say that, he starts to chuckle. I would not necessarily advise calling him that to his face. But again, down here we deal with the higher forms of greed that
You've given me some things to think about, Totev. But I'm not just your every man off the block warlock. I need to think.
then you shall have time. Shall we return to the office?
Okay.
Or as the two of you start walking back to the office, I think that's going to be the best spot for us to take our break this evening.
Go.
As our cameras are a little skewed at
Oh,
the moment.
Yeah, my dog keeps going crazy, sorry.
So we should be back in about 3 to 7 minutes, somewhere in that ballpark, as we top off drinks and whatnot. So don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back soon. back, everyone. Like a Blastoise.
Like a blast.
We're
You'll
going
never
to
know.
jump over to our 4 surviving party members right now, as Murdoch is currently being escorted back to the office he was talking with the somewhat congenial Totiv. As our group has started following their, suppose we'll call him their new friend, heading north towards, sort of like northwest, towards what they can see is a rather large break in this string of mountains. Is there anything anyone would be, anything in specific any of the 4 of you would be doing during this travel?
On occasion, Sarah's going to walk between the 2 bodies and just describe what it looks like around them. And there's trees. There's a swallow over there.
I'm going to be doing my best to keep track of, the direction, celestial bodies in the sky, where the sun's at. Is there a moon that I can see? Which, landmarks, just, if we need to get back to where we're going, I don't want to be completely lost.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check for me.
18.
Okay.
6 plus 2 is 8. 18.
So, it is still fairly early in the day. So it's, I shouldn't say fairly, it's probably a little after lunch at this point, given everything that's been going on. So it's early enough that you're not seeing any signs of a moon or anything like that. But you do see the sun seems to be setting off in the west. You do see it does appear to be a single sun, so everything seems to be similar to back home. And as you're traveling towards it, your new friend seems to be given little bits and pieces and trying to get information from the group of you. Where you've mentioned that you don't think you're from around here. So you get advised that currently, if assuming his understanding is correct and his estimate of where you are is right, a few days you'll be in the city of Palanthas. And it gives you a little bit about it. It's one of the largest cities in this part of the world. It's primarily known for its tower, as well as the library. Manned by the Order of Aesthetics, it is extremely difficult to gain access into the library. Rumor has it that the master of the library has chronicled all of existence. The birth, life, and death of every living thing. Ever.
Wait, so he knows where we came from? He could help us get back, possibly?
He sort of shrugs you a little bit. At the most, I can count on one hand, one finger even, the number of times that Astinius has permitted anyone outside of the knights into the library. So it is possible. I mean, he is the chronicler. He has seen it all.
he's seen a dragonborn?
He looks around. I have not met the man personally, but it is said that he even hears the words of the soul. Things that are not said, but are spoken within yourself.
That's kind of impressive, but I mean, it's a lot of people in the world. It's a lot of things to keep track of.
As such, why people do not see him.
I suppose that makes sense.
We should continue moving. It's best to get as quick as we can to try to help your friends. As it continues on and keeps asking more questions about where the group of you are from, so as approaches different members of you to get different bits. Is there anything in specific any of you would say about where you're from as he's sort of just popping random questions at you?
I would say, have you ever heard of the Sword Coast?
Okay. And Sarah, what about yourself?
Probably gonna go back into the story about the cotillion, the kidnapping as a baby. If he knows anyone from, like, the Lauder farm. But you probably don't, because they're not from this world if we're still in your world. But, yes.
Okay. And Lydia, you said you wouldn't be saying anything.
No, I don't really have any questions for this man.
Okay, and Art, anything?
No, probably not. They'd probably just ask more than once. Just, you're sure you can find someone that can help them?
Mm-hmm.
And again, you get the nod. Yes, the high priestess at the temple. Again, she is a very... she is a blessed healer of my Lady Mashakal. She will be able to help. So long as they are not otherwise committed and are willing to return, she should be able to aid them. But we cannot outweigh other commitments, nor can we force them should they choose to remain where they are. As if the soul has accepted its death and moved beyond, we will not pull them from peace.
Right. Of course.
The rest of the day seems to travel on without really any difficulty. As night starts to settle in, eventually it starts to get dark. You start to see stars come out. Would the group of you be making camp for this evening? Would you be traveling through the night?
I would look for a camping spot.
Okay.
Guys, I think we need to pack it up for the day. Take a rest. Carry on for tomorrow. We're not going to get very far if we ourselves are beaten down.
Easy enough to get situated as now sort of trail off a little ways, get yourself start getting yourself situated. How would you be dealing with Murdoch and Snowmoon? Would you be putting them in a tent, leaving them out next to the fire,
I would see
slow
if we
roasting Murdoch on a
Yeah.
stick.
I'd see if we could just like kind of not do like a full tent, but one of those kind of like lean-to.
Okay.
Like there's just sticks and
Shelter
then like
them from the elements.
yeah, and then
Okay.
I would like to sit down next to their little lean-to and go, I'll take first watch.
Okay. The remaining three of you each taking a watch as well, or?
I can't see in the dark, so I'm pretty useless.
Would
You
take
have your little
fourth.
light.
I'll take fourth watch.
I mean, your ears are just as good.
Yes, I'll take fourth watch.
Maybe
I'll take
there'll
second
be a
and be awake for third.
different sort of goblin running across the fields.
Okay, so we've got first, third, and fourth. Art, are you taking second?
Yes.
Okay, then I want all four of you go ahead and give me perception checks, please.
Mm.
19.
Okay.
11. You're going to dice jail.
Okay, Lydia
18.
and Artemis.
1.
Oh no!
Okay. So, as the group of you have settled down, is there anything anyone would be doing specifically during their watch?
I'd like to just do my occasional talking to
Okay.
Murdoch and
Still
Snowmoon.
just- Definitely, it's you don't get a reaction from them, obviously, but it seems to be. You definitely
It's
notice
okay
that
when they wake up.
Ryfan is looking at you and definitely has sort of a melancholy smile as he catches you once or twice before he turns in for the night. You would also notice as he goes to turn in, as he's watching you a little bit, he seems to be squirreling things away. You watch as he takes his coin pouch and sort of like tucks it down into his robe, pulls his rope a little tighter, ties the belt a little more, curls up in the fetal position as he goes to go to sleep.
Don't
Want to
sleep
use
with
my
your
tent?
back. Oh, sorry.
Do you want to use my tent? I'm used to sleeping out underneath the stars.
You see he keeps giving side eyes to Sarah. But it's just like, I'm fine, thank you. I've slept out before.
Okay.
But eventually the watches seem to come and go for the majority of you. Artemis, you notice it. You notice it first, and it actually pulls your attention from what you should be doing. As you're sitting out there and you're looking, and you just keep getting this strange feeling like you've heard Furia mention that you don't think you're home anymore, but you're somewhere else. And as you're looking around and looking up and seeing these strange stars in the sky, the first thing that you notice is there's a section of the sky that is just black. No stars whatsoever. It's a rather large section. And then as you're sort of looking in, that's mulling over in your head, you start to see a shining white moon in the sky. And a little further down over on the right-hand side, you see a muted red moon.
I suppose I would just kind of probably stare up at the sky the whole watch then.
Okay.
With my great roll.
As the rest of the watch seems to pass without an issue. Eventually you wake Furia. Then Furia again, at this point now the stars are out, you're definitely noticing those same two moons. Although a little further moved through the sky at this point.
Yeah, I would be doing my best to, pay attention to what's going on around, but also study the sky, other than the moons, to see if the stars match what we saw in that observatory room back at our house.
Go ahead and make an intelligence check. I'll say you make it with advantage, as you guys did spend some time looking at that.
Oh, good, because otherwise my roll would have been a nat 1.
Sorry.
Perception?
Yep.
Perception?
No, not perception. Intelligence.
And it's straight intelligence.
Yeah.
Okay. 15.
Oh, okay. So as you're looking around at it, it's weird. As you're looking and seeing some things that you, again, are sort of assuming are constellations, as they seem like they're a little brighter, they seem to jump out a little more. A lot of them do seem to match up, but there is that glaring empty space in the sky. That just, it seems jarring to you. And as you're looking at it, you're thinking back to what you saw and remembering that there was in that image a black moon, you realize that this area of the sky is not circular. You don't think it's being blotted out by something. It seems like the stars are missing.
Definitely take note of that as I, enjoy being under the stars, but also enjoy studying the new starscape.
Okay. And as we start to pan back over towards finishing our watch with Lydia, we're actually going to jump for a moment back to a forest. And back to Snow Moon. As you find yourself sitting there, Snow Moon. After, again, it feels like it's just been minutes. You can still see the bird up in the distance. All of a sudden, sort of heavy landing, 4 legs on ground from about 10 feet behind you in the brush. And then slowly walking up behind you, you feel 2 rather large clawed hands just sort of grab onto your shoulder. And that furry red face leans over to you again. Did you see? Did you see what you needed to see? The gift you were given. The opportunity you have. And the one who gave it to you.
Yes, I did see what you showed me, but if Alar is alive, like you said. If you gave him his life back, why did I see him when I first arrived here? Not in the vision, but he was standing right before me.
He sort of grabs hold and squeezes you a little bit more. No, that is not me. He was another one like you. A bearer of the gift. One who gave himself to it fully. In all of its glorious power. He was killed by some self-righteous group. Came here to the hunt. Led his pack. Survived. Claimed victory for himself. Once that gift was given, he returned, born anew, until some other self-righteous fools put an end to his life, but not before he had passed along the gift again. And now here you sit. Ready to join his pack. To hunt once more. Once you give in to it. Perhaps you will win your life again. Or perhaps as my pet over there once. You are nothing but prey. And as such, become food.
And if I don't give in this hunt, if I don't surrender to it fully,
have you ever won a fight with one arm behind your back? Against an army of individuals fighting with both?
if that's what it came to, that's what I would do.
Interesting. He reaches out and as he takes his hands off, you feel just one of those claws as he slowly cuts a little bit into the side of your face. And as he starts to, again, now this time only on 3 limbs, as he walks away and he just sort of holds his hand out a little bit, you see that couple of drops of blood hit the ground. Just be careful. They can smell the blood.
I can handle myself.
As you say that, you watch as he sort of reaches down onto the ground, puts one hand down, and then pulls the hand back up. And as he's pulling it up, you can see what appears to be your sword appear. If you're going to be a fool, at least we'll make it entertaining.
I will step forward and grab my blade.
And as you reach forward, you do notice as you sort of reach over to take it as its point is stuck in the ground, on the bottom of the pommel of the sword, you can see that same emblem of Malar on the pommel. we will fade over quickly back to Murdoch, currently sitting in an office. A small cup of water, a contract sitting on the desk, some hastily, well, I won't say hastily because I don't think Murdoch would let it be hastily, some alterations to said contract being penned in, initialed by both parties, in triplicate.
Yeah, do I still have the like scrying bowl on the desk that's like focused on my body or my friends? Or has that been, is it just a bowl of water right now?
No, it's still sitting there, but it's not currently active at the moment.
He activated it for me last time, didn't he?
Yeah.
She's just sort of sipping the water and she's watching Totev like do the additions.
And after each one that the two of you have discussed, makes one, slides it over so you can view it. Once you see it matches what the two of you have discussed, takes it back, initials, gives it back to you to initial.
It's a much better contract, Totev. If I didn't have so much work to do on the material plane, I'm sure that I would be very useful here. It's a good contract.
We could amend it if you'd like to arrange to come down here.
Respectfully, no.
I had a feeling you'd say that. Which is why we were not asking for yours to begin with.
The way they talk about you up there is much different. I've always said that I am not necessarily an agent for good or evil. I am an agent of order. I would just as soon send your kind packing back here as I would the most resplendent of all the angels in the celestial plane. It is just what I do.
And we will gladly take our kind as in turn as well as the angel.
But despite your civility and your kindness, one soul is not worth 1,000. Even if that is the soul of the most important person in the world to me. That's not the kind of person I am. If I signed this contract, it would go against what I have spent my life building and working towards. And my boss would find out. Whew! And I mean, you've got the fire and the brimstone and the pitchforks and all of that, but that man, his ire is actually quite devastating. And I would not forgive myself. You've made a wonderful amended contract, and it proves to me that you definitely were a devil kind of your word. But I don't think this is a contract for me.
I am sorry to hear you say that. But with that, it appears our business, well, or lack thereof, is at a close.
I suppose then you send me on my way somewhere.
I wish you well on your journey to your, well, considering your friends are probably still working things. I'm not quite certain I'll say your final rest, but...
Would you mind with the bowl one more time, just so I can see how they're faring without my guidance?
I suppose. Activates it once more, and you can see, as you're looking at it currently, you see Sarah sitting beside a small, leaning makeshift tent. You see yourself and Snowmoon laying there, wrapped. A scarf tied in a bow around your neck, a rather large hole still in the middle of your chest. And as you're watching for a moment, you can hear Sarah rattling off on one of her stories again. Seems to be talking to the two of you. The rest of your party seems to be resting. It's dark.
You don't have her husband down here, do you? I hope not. He seems like he was a very good man, and I don't believe that good men should be down here.
I wouldn't know anything about her husband.
I'll take that as a good thing. And while we're talking, while he's getting the bowl situated, I have no idea if this is gonna work in the long run, but she'd try it. I want to try and slip the coin that he gave me into my boot. The coin that would allow me to come back here.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
Come on, Murdoch. Come on. 19, which means it's a 21.
Okay.
It's about as good as I could get.
So as you going through and he's getting everything set up, you manage to slip it into your boot.
Just kind of stomp my foot a little bit to make sure it gets under my heel so I can feel it when I walk. Kind of tests the weight of my boot a bit. Well, Totiv, if we ever cross paths again, perhaps maybe there's another deal that we can make. You've been very agreeable. But
Gives a little nod and just says, "Oh, one must always remember, a deal is a deal, especially one with this devil." He reaches out very slowly with the tip of his middle finger. Almost, like very softly sort of goes, "Boink," right between your eyes. And your vision starts to fade. And we are going to pan back out to our group. That is now the next morning. Your watches have all passed through. Lydia, as they woke you up for your watch, fourth watch. A little difficult for you. It was still a little dark when you woke up. Again, as you're waking up and sort of noticing and not really focused on anything specifically like Sarah was, you would notice the same two things, the white and the red moon starting to set as the sun's starting to come up. And the day is yours. Your traveling companion, Rythan, is getting prepared, thinks you'll reach the High Claris Tower before nightfall tonight.
The first thing I want to do is cast Revivify on Snowmoon.
Okay.
I'll pass around good berries, hoping good berries still work here.
I'll go to the
God,
corpse pile we have, and I'll whisper to Murdoch, and I'll say, "I'm so sorry, Murdoch. We'll find a way to get you back." And then I'll kind of pull out Snowmoon from the lean-to, and I'll begin my ritual.
Oh, okay, and you do you guys have a diamond?
I do. I took it from either the Dragon Horde or I bought one because I have it in my inventory.
Okay.
I think I bought 2 in Silvery Moon actually, because we said that they would have the they would have enough
The spell
diamonds there for the
components,
spell.
yeah.
I remember you buying some extra diamonds in
Yeah.
Silvery Moon at the very least. You definitely
Just
do
in
have.
case.
You definitely do have some.
Yeah, I'm gonna make
so
sure. I know
we'll
I have
say
at
for
least
argument's
one,
sake
but I'll make sure
yeah,
how
we'll
many
say
I
you
have.
have. We'll say for argument's sake for now you have 3.
Yes.
So just mark off that you're using 1. You'll still have 2 left over because.
Okay.
And realistically, you guys found a frozen dragon horde. You're not hurting
Okay.
for money, so it's just finding a place to buy the stuff. So
Okay, so I will begin my spell.
okay. So as you start getting everything situated, and now what are the rest of you doing? As you can see, Lydia start preparing to cast her spell.
I think Art would kind of be walking over to Furia and kind of tugging on their clothing. Furia, did you notice the stars in the moons, right? So we are in that other place, the other dimension.
I compared the stars last night, and the room in our house that you still have the orb for, I believe, it's the same stars.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you noticed, but that black spot, it's not a moon, it's a hole. There's no stars there.
Oh, so it's not the moon. That's what I was sort
It
of
was too
hoping.
dark. It's not circular either.
No. That's a bit
Strange place that
worrying.
has 2 moons. And a hole.
I don't like that. The hole, at least. But, okay, at least I'm not the only one who noticed that. At least we kind of know where we are.
Well,
Sort of.
we know we're not where we used to be.
Hey, sir,
You know, I think it... Oh, go ahead.
Good. No, after you.
I think it's funny that we ended up where Captain Dunbar was trying to go, and we didn't really want to go here, and we've switched.
I kind of wish that wasn't the case, but maybe there are things that we can do here while we're here. Or it does seem
never
like
know.
they want us to be here.
Okay, so as the 2 of you are talking, Lydia's getting a ritual. Is there anything you'd be doing, Sarah?
Sarah's gonna be like kind of sticking close to the tent, kind of watching what Lydia does.
Okay. So as Lydia, as you're getting your everything set up, you get the diamond out and set it on the Snow Moon's chest and start reaching up. How does this look as you're casting your spell? What does Lydia's ritual look like?
I'm thinking that Lydia would make it kind of water based. Because she's got a worshipper of Nord. So she'd be sprinkling, it sounds crude, but sprinkling flecks of water around like each cardinal point kind of thing and reciting her hymns.
Okay.
Kind of blessing Snow Moon's like forehead kind of thing, and then it would come to fruition.
So as you start going through your different recitals and your everything, and you can feel that slight, almost static charge on your holy symbol. As you can feel your feel Nord's power start to flow through you. And as you're moving, you can see little flecks of almost lightning and electricity within the diamond on Snow Moon's chest. You can see a little bit, almost looks like a storm in the early evening on the ocean as it starts to cloud over and these little pulses of electricity start to, and you watch as you feel the divine energy pour through you into your holy symbol. you reach out and lay your hand on the diamond, and as you push that energy into it, you watch as the diamond starts to fracture and turns to dust, and it just slowly flows out and starts to settle onto Snow Moon. And as you wait a couple of moments, nothing happens.
Oh no! Did I do it wrong? Did I do it wrong? Oh crap! This hasn't happened before. I haven't tried the spell before. Art! Art, what do you do when the spell doesn't work?
Usually, and at least in my case, it means that I don't have enough energy or something, or something's stopping it.
But I just slept. I had the diamond. I'm not sure where I went wrong.
Lydia, go ahead and make a religion check or an arcana check for me, whichever.
Religion.
You can use whichever one.
Okay.
Lydia, it's possible he just doesn't want to come back. But you might be right.
15.
Somebody could be stopping him.
So, as you've asked Art about this, sort of you, Furia, and Art are having this real brief conversation. Something actually that is said clicks with you. You felt your deity's presence. You felt the energy travel through. You know you performed we'll call it your task, your rituals properly. The only reason that the spell would have failed is one of two things. Either there is someone or something blocking Snow Moon's return, or the Snow Moon's soul is at peace. And having accepted their death as such is just moved on. So those are the only two things that you know of that would have caused the spell to fail.
Alright, well... Huh. I hope he's at peace then.
Is there a way we can find out if somebody's blocking his return?
Not that I'm aware of.
Right then, do you know? Can your temple help figure this out?
As you're asking that, let me just check.
For if he wants to stay dead, that's fine, but I'd rather feel kind of bad if we just leave him and he does actually want to come back.
Let's see here.
I'd rather, as horrible as it might be, us to drag him along for at least the time that my spell would allow it.
Arathon thinks for a couple of moments and says, it's not always the most pleasant, but it's not a skill I ever learned, but there are those at the temple that are able to speak with the deceased.
Oh, I could have done that today.
It is... Some tend not to care for it, as it's a little jarring to have the body of a friend or loved one be controlled in such a way. Some view it as dark.
I speak to plants and animals.
Yes, but those are living.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Would you feel the same as if somebody made a table out of a tree and then spoke with the table?
I would probably be fine with it, honestly. But,
One of my NPCs. That's one of my NPCs.
I mean, I'm...
Table?
I can turn into animals, but I find eating meat and vegetables. I guess I'm just different. But I guess until we know for certain, I would be willing to try.
Let us. If the ritual that this young lady tried has failed, let us travel as promptly as possible then, if you wish to get these answers. So we're still a day to the High Clerist's Tower, and then perhaps if we are lucky, we can barter to travel with the knights or the footmen back to Palanthas to get there a bit quicker.
I can be a horse for 6 hours today to help, lighten the load a little bit.
Well, that would probably help with your 2 large friends.
Why did the strong people always have to die?
That's a scary thing for you to say, Fear. Would you mind?
As he sort of looks over, and again, you're noticing, all of you are noticing this, and Sarah, even you are noticing, he seems to be very uncomfortable with Sarah. As he sort of, again, side-eyes over at Sarah. It's the strong ones, like some others, are usually the ones that are not smart enough to run away. Don't understand the meaning of the word fear.
That's true for Snowmoon, but me? Probably true for that too, actually. So, let's get going.
Fear, do you think you would be able to, be a horse for a little bit? We can probably put both of them on you, but...
I'd be a horse for 6 hours. Weight spread out over 4 hooves. Not that bad.
That would be a great help, I believe. Lydia, would you be able to lift them up on there? I doubt.
Sure.
I have the strength or the height.
But we keep you around for other reasons anyway, so that's okay.
Yeah, so I'll magic myself after everybody's had a good berry into a draft horse. And,
As I lift Snowmoon, I'm gonna say, you could have said something before I listed the giant on you! And I hoist him up.
Are you saying this out loud?
Yeah.
Rythan walks over and just gently pats you on the back a little bit. My dear, we still don't know if that's the case. It's possible.
Right.
I don't know your friend. You all know him better than... I've never even met him. I was unconscious until after everything had happened.
Very stubborn.
One would assume that you would know whether or not your compatriot would be comfortable meeting an end like that.
I should ask them more questions, to be honest.
You always get the chance.
Well...
Shall we continue on?
Sure. You lead the way, sir.
And he walks up and seeing Fury has changed, and with that, take a lead, and you guys travel on. Day's travel goes by without much of an issue. And we eventually find yourselves entering into this valley within this mountainside. And as you start meandering through, you find yourselves coming towards the base of a massive stone tower. And as you're going in, Rython's telling you guys little bits and pieces about it. You can see the tower is completely blocking this passageway between where you are and the area to the north. The only opening in it is this massive gate. It looks large enough for that blue dragon you saw. You think even that would be able to fly through this gate.
Wow.
As you're heading in, you see what looks to be a small group of filthy little humanoids. They're just rags, dirt, just filthy looking little individuals. And they're over in the group of you can hear them bickering over something. As you guys continue on the way, and you can see that Rython's trying to lead you a little ways away from them. They're just over there doing their own thing. They're arguing, sort of rolling around. Looks like almost like a schoolyard wrestling match. Like there's some sort of disagreement going on.
Can I hear what they're saying at all?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay.
See how well you can hear it.
30, 20.
Oh, yeah, you can definitely hear them.
Okay.
And as they're going back and forth, looks like they're arguing over a disagreement on a number. As they're going back and forth. No. I have 2 pieces. I have 2. See, I count 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and 1, 2. No. I count 4 pieces. 1 and 4. And they're going back and forth and just sort of rolling back and forth, arguing with each other. As you watch this, all of a sudden another one walks up and says, "That's enough." Grabs the 2 of them, smacks their heads together. And the 2 just sort of drop to the ground, look at each other, and look up. Just, I knock heads 3 times. You do it again, I knock 6.
I don't think these people can count.
Unless counting's different in this world.
True.
As you're saying that, you hear Rython laugh a little bit. Gully dwarves, not exactly the most intelligent creatures, but should you bring one along, you'll never need a garbage pail.
'Cause they stink? Or...
But that too, but they eat anything.
Oh, they see it. Oh, okay. That's more logical.
But just that up until the battle, they used to be the only ones who were in this tower. But as we can just ignore them with the knights within now, some of them still have small holes and cracks in the walls that Kenda used to get in.
Sorry, what did you call them? The dwarves of some kind?
Oh, gully.
Gully dwarves.
Gully
Yes,
dwarves.
what do they call them? The Agar is what they refer to themselves as, but
Interesting.
Do they look like dwarves? Like what we would think as dwarves?
As you're all, sort of as this conversation and you're all looking at them, they have some similarities, but not really. As you're having this conversation, he looks over at the group. No, they're sort of. I mean, don't don't say this to one of the hill dwarves or one of the mountain clans, but they're sort of the inbred dwarven group. They're not exactly wise. They tend to live in filth and squalor, places where most respectable races wouldn't go anywhere within a 10-foot pole. And we thought we had... There's not... Well, actually, you're not from here, are you? We have another strange one that's currently being, well, shall we say, housed at the temple. Created a bit of a stir in the city, asking about different, what were they talking about? Some weird clan name. We sent messages out and couldn't find anyone who had heard of these people. Does the name Holdurk mean anything to you people? Or the Nether Mountains?
My horsey face turns over to Sarah.
Oh, yes! Yes. Sort of. I need to go there.
I'm sorry, you know where it is?
Sort of. It's on our world.
There's someone else here then. From our place, perhaps.
Yes, they keep mentioning that they're from this nether mountain.
Art looks
From?
at Sarah and
Yeah.
just kind of slowly, carefully
What's there?
moves towards
what do
Sarah.
they
And
look-
where might they be so we can check on them?
What do
Sarah,
they look like?
They look somewhat like a dwarf.
Okay.
Not like these ones, but I mean close enough that talking about them made me think of it.
Okay.
Sarah, you promised to Murdoch you would be nice. You need to be nice.
I'm just going to ask questions. It's nothing else is going to happen.
You say questions, but the last time you said you needed some air, you destroyed a room.
That's one way to get air.
I believe you asked a question to fellow by digging a dagger into his palm.
And we got answers.
You need to be nice in the way that there's no violence or maiming.
Maybe.
I'll start doing that once our party is at full capacity again.
What? The niceties or the maiming?
We'll see.
I don't.
You can see that Raython has taken about 4 Lydia-sized steps away from Sarah.
My neck snaps in his direction. Now, where'd you say the temple was?
In the city.
Come on. Be a guide.
Oh boy.
No,
Reaches
we're
up
still
and
outside
grabs
this
hold of that.
tower, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just getting to sort of this gateway.
All right. Well, I'm keeping walking, keeping the pace so we get.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because you did say somebody was at the tower that might be able to help us.
Yes.
I believe.
Come on. We can't keep Murdoch and Snowmoon waiting.
We're attending to them first and foremost. You do realize that?
Yes,
So-
that's why I want us to move faster.
So as you
Right.
guys continue on into the entranceway into this tower, you can see the first thing is you sort of walk through this massive opening into sort of this open courtyard. And there's a couple of stairwells right inside the entranceway that lead down. And both of them disappear into relative darkness, and then you can see torches lit down at the bottom, and you can see large, look to be golden colored doorways on both sides. As you head a little further in, you enter into sort of what looks to be like the main training yard of this tower. You can see that there's just a massive pile of what look to be long silver weapons laying on the ground. Next to those, about 10 feet down along the wall, there is a doorway. And above the doorway that Rythan is currently leading you towards, you see an image of what appears to be a metallic dragon. Looks to be either silver or platinum colored. As he's leading the group of you towards there, here's the local cleric at the tower. Let's see what they can do to try to help with your friends. See what can be done. As they start moving you towards and head in that direction, Artemis, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me.
This is, I'm guessing, against some sort of magic.
Yes.
Okay. Not that I don't think I would get better than that. I have advantage on that, but 24?
Okay. So, as you are heading over that direction, you feel a pull come to you from the opposite side of the courtyard. And in a voice speaks to you. In your mind, you hear a very soft, almost ethereal voice reach out. I need your help. I am trapped down this hallway. Save me. You can save me.
Is there anything I can... Oh, you said it was like ethereal?
Yeah, it's
Sounding?
yeah, so think of it sort of like you're hearing the voice, but it doesn't have that directional quality. Like when you're talking to someone face to face and you, or even if someone's behind you, you can tell where the voice is coming from. This voice seems to just be omnipresent to you. There's no real direction or anything.
You said it kind of like was pulling me from across the
It's-
courtyard?
Yeah, so the sense you're getting is this sort of presence presses in on your mind. You don't get the sense that it's trying to control you. You get the sense that it is trying to reach out to you. And as it's reaching out, it's sort of like you get the sensation, tap, tap, tap. Hey, look over here.
Okay. Across that courtyard, I guess, in that direction. What?
Across the courtyard, and as you turn to look, there's just a massive, large opening that seems to lead down a hallway.
I guess I would kind of catch up to our friend and kind of... What is down that way? And I point
As he
down that
sort of
way.
as he looks down, those just rubble. It's the roof collapsed a ways back. I mean, we have crews coming in from the city, but nothing much as of yet.
Did you saying this recently happened?
Oh, I don't even... let us get into the temple. I'm not even sure how long I've been gone. We've been apparently jumping realms according to you, so... I have no idea if that's affected time or whatnot. I know when entering the portal, a mere hour can span days.
Excuse me for a moment, I suppose, then. And they'll kind of toddle off cautiously, nonetheless, but in that direction.
Oh, okay. So as you're toddling off that way, are the rest of you sort of still following with, rather than to head into this?
Follow Art.
I will, because I have 2 bodies on my back, and I'm still a horse.
Yeah, once I see Lydia's going with Art, I'll follow Furia horse.
Okay. So the 2 of you proceed in, Furia and Sarah proceed in. And as you come in, immediately you see there is a very very beautiful young woman, long, flowing, dirty blonde hair, braided back and behind her, sort of pulled down around the side, hanging in front of her. Around her neck, that same image, that same medallion with the blue infinity symbol on it. And as Rython approaches, priestess, yes, please, can you help us? These 2 souls fell saving me. I'm hoping that Our Lady can return them. She nods and starts getting the ritual set up and getting everything together. She has a couple of Atrium Writhingham's over helps. The 2 of them sort of lift Murdoch's body down, sets Murdoch's body onto this bench, does the same with Snow Moon's.
I'll turn back into myself and give sort of a quick explanation of what happened with Snow Moon's failed spell and all of that. Also give it a quick explanation that they're Dragonborn, not whatever they call them here, if she gets curious.
You can see she has some initial, I won't say concern, but confusion. Because as you guys have run into, Draconians don't leave bodies. The silver ones turn into the people who killed them. The others either explode, turn to stone, turn to acid. All manner of nasty, ugly things. But they don't just look like themselves. So eventually they begin setting up the ritual. As she goes through, starts getting the candles set up and everything, starts setting them up around Murdoch. I don't know whether one of the priests come over, starts setting them up around Snow Moon. And as they're getting set up, Rythan actually stops them and says, let us try to communicate with them first, rather not. Again, while we are going to help them as they've helped us, let us not expend things that we may not be able to retain if it's not going to work. As they're getting everything set up over there, we're going to pan real quick as the other two are walking down a long hallway. Art and Lydia, make perception checks for me.
16.
Okay.
15.
Okay, yes, you both notice this. As you're traveling down, you can see that each, 50 or 60 feet that you go down this hallway, you're passing a strange set of double doors. The first set of doors, they look normal for the most part, but as it sort of comes down, and there's a half circle carved out of each one. So if they were to ever close the door, there'd be a big hole in the middle of it. The next set of doors, about 15 feet away from it, are massive, thick, just completely normal, giant metal doors. After the fourth set of them, you guys enter into a room which has all manner of rubble and debris. You can see a part of the ceiling seems to have caved in.
So what are we looking for exactly, Art?
I appreciate you blindly following me.
I trust you. I don't want you to get into trouble either.
Yes, I heard a voice. Well, in here, at least. They tried to contact me, so I'm guessing that whoever needs help, they have magical ability or something, or perhaps they're trapped under rubble or something to that degree.
Alright, you point, I'll lift.
Would I be able to, I suppose, detect, would detect magic do anything? Would I be able to, perhaps see where...
You can certainly try.
Alright.
Okay, as you cast your spell, let's take a look and see what that is. No, so you would be able to, you would start getting, because it's blocked by a foot of stone, you're actually getting a slight ping. Looks to be probably about 20 feet away from you under this various piles. I think it'll probably take about maybe 5 or 10 minutes for Lydia to sort of get some of these stones out of the way if you were trying to get to it.
Okay. There's something, at least, about 20 feet back or so. Do you think you could help?
Sure,
They're
I'm on it.
probably just pulling some stuff.
Yeah. I'll start moving the stones.
Okay. So as you start moving that, we're going to jump back over to Furia and Sarah. As Furia, the second group has sort of pulled you away from Murdoch and has you standing, you and Sarah now standing over by Snow Moon. They look over at the two of you. Okay, I'm going to cast the incantation now. What questions are you looking to have answered?
Why he didn't come back the first time we tried this?
No, what about, does he want to come back? Because he may not know Sarah.
Of course he wants to come back.
Well, no, we need to make sure. Maybe he's perfectly fine where he is. So, ask if he does want to come back to his body.
Okay. So I can ask him a couple of questions. Is that the only one you have, though?
Well, I think that's the most important one at the moment.
Okay.
Maybe ask where he is?
Okay, so do you wish to return, and where are you?
And I guess if you have another question, after all of that, if he knows what is preventing him. I suppose, Sarah, that's your
Okay.
question.
Yes, I can get those 3 answers for you, hopefully. Now, please keep in mind this is going to be somewhat disconcerting, as it is going to be the body responding to us. And with that, they finish casting their incantation. They've got the little incense stick is burning. They've got it sort of situated, sitting right at the top behind Snow Moon's head. Mind you, still has the scarves bandaged around the head to keep the coins on. And you hear, as the incantation is finished, Snow Moon's body all of a sudden, this massive draw of breath seems to pull in and then just stops. As the person with their eyes goes and down, just, we have questions for you. The first is, do you wish to return to your mortal body?
No, I'm sorry, but I do not. I don't know what you had to go through to contact me like this, but I died a warrior's death, which I was always prepared to do, and I've accepted that, and to come back from that, I would feel like I'm dishonoring myself and my way of life.
Where are you now?
I am in another plane, I think. I'm part of the Great Hunt now.
And then the cleric turns to look at the two of you, Furia and Sarah. It appears he does not wish to return, which sort of defeats the third question. Is there anything else you would rather me ask with the last question?
Well, obviously someone's keeping him there. That's why he doesn't want.
Say goodbye to him from us.
I have to ask a question. Okay.
I'm sure you're smart enough to phrase that as a question.
Do you know your friends will miss you and they want to say goodbye?
Yes, I know, and I'm sorry if this caused them pain. And I did enjoy our time together. It was like a new clan for me, new home, but I've accepted what's happened. So I would like to say goodbye as well.
And as you hear that voice say goodbye, you hear once more that final breath just drain out of the body. As the two of you are having this conversation, you can hear chanting from immediately behind you. As another ritual is taking place. as we jump to another realm. As Murdoch, you find your eyes opening. And you are sitting at a small, somewhat comfortable chair. A small table beside you. You sort of turn looking around trying to figure out what's going on. You were just in hell. Just
hell.
You literally just told the devil, take a walk, I don't want your deal. As you're looking, you are at your best guess as you're looking around. You think you're probably a couple of tens of miles outside of Baldur's Gate, sitting on the shore, looking out at the ocean. Small seat beside you.
On a chair.
Cup of tea. A few moments goes by, and you hear a very distant voice coming to you. Almost sounds to be weary, older sound to it. You weren't supposed to be here this early. But then again, you were supposed to be here sooner at the same time.
I am having the worst sense of deja vu in the worst way possible.
It seems you got waylaid on your path. And suddenly, as you hear that voice say that, the voice seems to be sitting beside you now. And you see a very ancient, tired-looking old man. Sort of floppy gray hat. Looks over at you. You aren't exactly from around these parts. But stranger things have happened.
I suppose then I'm not outside of Baldur's Gate.
No, this is, well, shall we say, for your comfort. It seems you and your friends have found your way to a place you're not from.
And they need me now more than ever.
That appears true. And as he says that, he reaches over and just very so softly runs his finger around the rim of the teacup. And you can see in the teacup, it's actually a picture of Sarah and Furia right beside you. As it seems somebody is casting some sort of a spell or ritual over you. You won't be here for long. It seems a follower of my daughter's is bringing you, well, assuming you're willing, bringing you home.
I still have work to do. People need me.
Enjoy the tea. It comes from a small inn. It's many miles from where they are, but if you're ever in the neighborhood, wonderful potatoes.
I don't like to just accept tea from anyone. What's your name, sir?
My name is Paladine.
Murdoch.
He gives a little nod. Be careful who you trust.
Now that's ominous, Paladine.
And as you hear that, all of a sudden, you feel yourself being pulled.
Oop, here we go.
As those of you in the room watch again as that diamond cracks. And this time, it seems to just swirl into this strange blue glow. And then the glow starts to spread over Murdoch's body. And Murdoch, you can feel your soul being pulled back.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
As you feel your body just fly, you feel yourself flying through the air. As you start coming in, you see mountains, this strange tower, in these gates, through these doors, flying toward. And as you sail over your body, looking down at this massive gaping hole, you watch as it starts to mend, your wound closing. And then slowly, your spirit begins to descend. And you hear that same voice in your mind one last moment. Be well, my child. As breath re-enters your body.
Ah.
Clark looks over at the other two of you. It appears your friend was able to return to us. Although it is probably going to be a bit sore for a while.
Well, I saw them get stabbed. I don't blame them.
And can we?
I can hear you. Sarah. Come here. I can't move.
Just a
Please.
second, Murdoch. We're having an alive people conversation. Now, my good woman, there is still a corpse, and you still have a job to do. Now, if you could please, so
Still
we
a
may get
corpse?
along.
Murdoch, Snow Moon didn't want to come back.
No, someone's keeping him there. He wants to come back. Someone's just telling him to say things.
She's sort of, because
I
we're
don't-
laid up on like
I don't know
Yeah.
if you're alive for enough for this conversation yet. Give it a minute.
She just sort of like really weakly rolls her head to the side to look at Snow Moon.
His head is. Your head is bandaged.
You have a bow in the way.
No, it. Murdoch still
you're
has
right.
copper coins on.
I forgot.
I can't see.
Don't move it.
Oh, that's
Sorry, it's probably bright.
broke my glasses. I want to see him.
Not yet. Let us finish first. We'll get him back and then you can talk to him. Come on, do it.
I look over at the lady. What is her reaction to Sarah's demands here?
She's you're seeing that same sort of look that Rython keeps giving her. And she actually doesn't say anything. The person who casts Speak with Dead looks over at Sarah and says, Your friend stated they are at peace. There is nothing further we can do. Anything
I
beyond
told you
that
he would.
is the realm of Chemosh, and will not be tolerated in this temple.
Murdoch's-
Your magic users, use your magic. Make it.
I'm trying to get up. I'm trying to roll off of this damn altar.
Excuse me. I know this might be an odd request, but do you have a room where this one could go and just wreck everything in it? By any chance? Maybe some firewood to something there.
She looks and gives a nod and gestures over and says, Yes, will you lead this one into... Yes, you know...
I'm not.
Yes, you know exactly where.
Where are you taking? I am not going anywhere. You bring him. Balazar, come back. Sorry.
As Sarah's having this moment, the individual that the cleric had called over from the door comes walking in and is literally going to try to pick up Sarah to carry you out. Are you going to permit this, or are you trying to get away from it?
I'm gonna be a little rascally raccoon and try to get away.
Okay, so you can either roll acrobatics to try to dodge out of it, or if you're... Well, yeah, you're going to do that because I don't think your strength is...
Nope. Acrobatics is better.
Okay, well, it's going to be interesting.
13.
Oh, yeah, I don't even have to finish looking that up yet. That's a 17 on the die. As you go to try to swirl out, it just scoops you up. Yes, we have just the place for Kenda. And starts walking, carrying you like a suitcase, but...
She's not a Kender!
Murdoch
you
is
walk in there-
trying to get over to Snow Moon.
As this
I'll
individual
also
walks
stop
out,
her yelling that.
you
Yeah.
hear the guard or the person who just carried Sarah out, come back up to the guard. Check the other one, if we're confused. And Sarah ends up getting walked away and carried off, as Murdoch is turning over to Snow Moon.
As I walk, do I feel anything in my boot?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Oh boy, with a big minus
Minus
4 to
4.
that one. So -3. So that becomes a 6.
You're having trouble feeling a lot
Feeling
of your body.
anything.
Yeah, you're.
That's fine.
It's what you are feeling is pain in your neck and chest right now.
Yeah, she tries to like flex her little like neck flap thing. She's like, yeah, that's not gonna.
Take it easy. I mean, you just got alive again. I'm not sure what you call that.
She puts her hands on either like side of he's on like a I'm guessing we were on like altars or tables or something,
Yeah,
or are we on
yeah, it's basically considered like a bench or something. Just
yeah. He said he didn't want to come back.
Well, we tried to revive him. It didn't work. So we made it here. And they asked us what we'd like to ask him. And he said he died with honor and thought it would be a disgrace to come back.
Sounds like something he'd say.
And apologized for the hardship that he put through, and said he was part of the Great Hunt now. And we basically told him, I said goodbye.
I normally don't ask for things like this. I want to break the rules of D&D. I don't have a lot left because I couldn't get a long rest because I was dead. I've got a 3rd level spell slot, 2 2nd level spell slots, all my 1st level spell slots, 1 HP, a hope, and a prayer. I don't have any bardic inspiration. But I'm hoping that because I am maybe just on the brink of coming back into the material plane, and because maybe the DM would think it would be kind of cool since I'm a bard, I want to say something to Snow Moon. I want to try. I don't have a spell.
what are you trying to
I
say?
don't have a class. I just want to tell him. Snow Moon, you stupid man. You didn't know what happened to me because you were already gone. And it's my fault because I didn't hit that last goddamn guy. I've lived a very, very long life, Snow Moon. And I lived a very long life living for other people in service. I was always told that I needed to stop and smell the flowers. I always told that I should do something for me. You stupid man. Didn't you realize that I liked you?
Oh.
You idiot. You died an honorable death. Fine, that serves you, but didn't you know that we still needed you? That I still wanted you. You're the only person that knows what I wanted. And you promised me that you would help me get her back. And now I'm tired as shit. I went to hell. And she's there. but I need someone with a good arm and a good sword. Okay, I think that would probably be pretty much all the magic that I have left in my body. I'm just gonna mark off all my spell slots, whether or not he heard that or not.
As you're going through that, and you're outpouring this, and you're saying this, and you can see there's a couple of the acolytes around the road, starting to wipe the corner of their eye a little bit. You hadn't noticed at first. A slight burning sensation on your foot. Then very softly in the back of your mind, one for the road. And you are, as you hear Totiv's voice carry over to you, you get the sensation that your message was received and that Snowmoon did hear.
Okay, here I go. And she's going to pass out.
I like your tempter. Catch?
I'll fall towards you. Don't want to immediately kill myself by cracking my head open on the floor, but I marked off the rest of my spell slots and stuff for that one.
Yeah, easy enough is everyone seems to see this. You've got two of the acolytes you have over Fury stepping over. As Lydia and Art have sort of cleared this spot out during all this. Art, you can see something down within this small opening now. That seems to be where this magic glow is coming from. Looks like it's just small enough for you to potentially reach your arms in and try to pull something out.
I'm doing that.
Okay. As the rest of your party is going through that, as you reach down, and as you get closer to this and your body starts to block out what little light was trying to get down and your eyes adjust to the darkness as you're reaching down, you can see what looks to be a small crystal ball. And as you reach in and you go to take it out, the minute your hands touch the sides of it, in your eyes you see two hands within the orb come out and grab hold of your wrists.
Uh-oh.
And that's where we're going to come into tonight's session. We are already over half an hour over our normal time. But there was a lot going on this week.
Yeah.
So we have Murdoch.
That was a crazy session. So stressful.
Murdoch has been revived. Some of the party has learned that the Snowmoon is at peace. He has died a warrior's death
You promised me.
and cost the party a diamond.
Yeah. Jump him.
But
Okay.
we will be back next week to find out how Murdoch is healing, how the rest of how everyone is healing in one manner or another. There's a question of a strange dwarf. It's a question of where are we? Why were we brought here? And now what is this strange orb that Artemis is now locked in a grapple with? So don't forget, folks, when going through an emotionally draining anything in D&D, screw the rules and go for it. Because it might just be a very memorable moment. See you next week.
Break the rules of D&D.
When it's worth it, it's worth it. See you next time, folks.